It is a sequence of numbers whose consecutive terms have a common ratio. So a sequence of numbers whose consecutive terms have a common ratio. So what does a ratio mean? How do I find a ratio? What mathematical operation do I use? Division, okay. So that, hopefully you remember when we had tables, didn't we try to see if something was exponential, it would have a common ratio? What does the word consecutive mean? Consecutive. So if I had a list of things, what would the word consecutive mean? Can you say again, Jake? No. I know where you're getting that from. If I said 3 consecutive years, wouldn't that mean like good, one after another? And so when I'm saying the ratios to be the same, you can't just divide any two terms. You have to do two that are next to each other. Okay? So the common ratio we call R. So to find R, you are going to take any term and divide by the previous term. Alright, so what we do when we have a term list, and I wrote these on the board too, so in a second when we do some examples we don't have to flip back and forth. Explicit formula, what we're going to do is we're going to write it starting at the first term. And here's why. When we did exponential equations, what was A? What did A stand for? The y-intercept, or the 0, okay? Usually when we're starting a sequence of numbers, we don't start at the 0 term, we start at the first term, okay? And so explicit formulas look just a little bit different. They're written like this: A sub n, or A of n, and this means to find the nth term. So maybe it's going to be the 10th term, the 12th term. What we do is we take A, this is a subscript, sub 1, and we multiply times R to the n minus 1 power. What I like to do, because there's a lot of things in there, and I would do the same, let's put a box around the things you're going to put numbers in. You're going to put a number in this A sub 1 spot. And the number that you're going to put in the A sub 1 spot, gentlemen, is the first term. The other thing that you're going to put in the formula is r. So I'm going to also put a box around r. And what you're going to put in the spot where r is that common ratio. And the common ratio, again, we find by taking any term and dividing by its previous term. So, two differences. First of all, notice I don't start at the y-intercept, I start at the first term. Because of that, notice what this power is. Is it just x? It's not. It's x minus 1 or n minus 1, okay? Because I'm starting this one term after the 0 term. R is in the same spot as what in the y equals a times b to that, to b. Yeah. And that's not any different. Okay, recursive formulas. Jackie?
That common ratio thing, isn't it basically what we did when we had like the chart?
Exactly, when you were doing the number divided by the y value. Yep, so we've done that before. Recursive formula, we're not going to write a start next. Now we're going to use the actual recursive notation. And here's how it works. You're always going to write a sub 1 equals, and in this spot you're going to put whatever the first term is. And then the second row looks like this. To find a sub n, it equals a sub n minus 1 times r. Once again, I'm going to put boxes around the things that you're going to put numbers in for. You're going to put a number in for the first term. You're also going to see a number for r. These are, we call this math shorthand. Do you know what shorthand is? That term, what does shorthand mean? Shorthand is kind of like an abbreviation, so you don't have to write out the whole thing. I don't want to write the whole sentence to find the nth term, because that's what you have to do. Instead, we write a sub n, and that just means to find the nth term. You take a sub n minus 1. Which term would this be? If this is n, what term would the n minus 1 term be? So if this stands for the nth term, where would the n minus 1 term be? Before it? After it? Okay, so let's play around with numbers. Let's say this was 10. To find the 10th term, what's 10 minus 1? You take the 9th term and multiply by r. So what if this is the nth term, this is any term in general, where would I find this term? Before it or after it? So n minus 1 comes after n. Come on, guys, think about that. N minus 1, that comes after n? Before it. So all this means is the previous term. You take the previous term and multiply by r. Okay? So this is not, you're not putting an n in this formula. These stand for certain things. In the explicit, you are actually going to be putting in a number for the power. All right. I transferred those formulas to the board so you don't have to keep flipping back and forth. You are going to want a calculator out. Take a look at the geometric sequence.